Hi, friends. Chelsea Call here. I hope this reaches you well. Hope everyone's doing okay. I know things have been crazy and insane lately, but hang in there. Hold the line. Keep the faith, and we're just gonna keep going in this crazy madness. I wanted to come on and do a video about like the mysterious disappearance of Kevin Hoyt and his daughter Micah. Um, it's pretty serious, like when one of our own fellow truth warriors disappears. And it's like even more serious, like 10 times more serious at least, to know that he has his 4-year-old daughter with him, Micah. And overall, we just want to like pray for their safety. And I hope that they are safe and protected at this time. Even people close to them don't know where they're at right now. They've been missing pretty much, from what I gather, since the beginning of August. I wanted to kind of do a little overview and say a couple things and try to get through this information because I've actually been looking into this over the course of the last like month or 3 weeks or so. And it's really complicated and it's really crazy and it's like confusing. And so I hope I'll be able to put this together in a way that makes sense and is encompassing, and it kind of just looks at this from different views. I'm going to be sharing different information, but unfortunately, technical difficulties don't allow me to share my screen. So I'm just going to have to do old school style where I share things on my phone, and that's just going to have to be good enough. I can share where I found the videos, and you can go find them for yourself. Like the channels I'm going to mention are Grassroots Warrior Network on Rumble, Sovereign Soul Show on Rumble, as well as Truth Stream is on Rumble. All those have actually covered this on Kevin Hoyt's disappearance. So I'll keep you posted on that information, and I'm going to go over a couple different parts from a couple different videos, and then also piece together some information which makes this really interesting and also makes this really newsworthy. I have to thank Kevin Hoyt's daughter, Jade, for writing me back and actually like communicating with me and giving me a whole lot of answers that I feel really good about sharing. And I hope it makes other people feel good as well and have a better picture of like what happened to Kevin and Micah. So stay to the end of this video because I will be sharing everything, like all of the most important parts of our conversation. And that is Kevin's daughter, Jade, his adult daughter. So yes, Kevin had other children. I think he had another children. So I know he at least has, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, he has at least 3, or maybe he has more. I'm not sure. Hi, good to see you, Libby. Oh, awesome. It's so good to see you. Okay, so she's talking about working outside and stuff in the forest. And speaking of the forest, like in case you don't know who Kevin Hoyt is, Kevin Hoyt started Grassroots Warrior Network. He's like a truther. He's shared a lot. He's went live a lot with Michael Jaco. He keeps a pretty close-knit group. Like I know from different content creators that like they don't necessarily like talk on the phone with Kevin. So like I think he's very private in who he does engage with. I know personally, I've never spoken with Kevin, and I have actually sent him multiple messages and he never wrote me back. So that's fine. No, he's a busy dude. So just want to let you know I have no affiliation with Kevin Hoyt or anything. This is just all my own personal research. I'm not doing this video on behalf of anybody. I've just connected some dots. I want to put them together and put this out there so I can put it to rest. And hopefully we can all feel better about it. And hopefully we can all also pray for their safety together because that is important. They really need our prayers. So as I said, you know, they've been missing since, as far as I know, since the beginning of August. That's Kevin Hoyt and his 4-year-old daughter, Micah. So sending them love and healing prayers of protection and pray that they are safe and protected where they're at. I just want to thank Jade for her writing me back and providing me answers to all of my questions. I said, I have one more question, one more question. I don't know how many times I said I have one more question. But she thankfully answered them all. And so this video wouldn't even be newsworthy if it weren't for Jade. So thank you. And please, like I said, stay to the end for all the information. Okay, here's something that I wanted to say that I actually have never had the courage to say before. I was actually too scared to admit this before. But it's like how to put this. Okay. So the reason I've never shared this before is because I was actually scared to share it. I didn't want to upset Michael Jaco, and I didn't want him to get mad and come after me or something, but I don't think he's like that. I actually respect him, respect Michael Jaco a lot, and I've spent a couple days with him at the Ritz-Carlton at an event, at Rebecca Satori's event in Sarasota, Florida, and he's amazing. He's really kind of private around groups until he puts on his jacket and steps on stage, and he becomes a totally different person, and he is an amazing speaker. So anyways, I respect Michael Jaco. That's why I've never brought this up. But originally, the reason I started this channel, as you know, my very first video, if you've been here since the beginning, was about Kirsten W. The mysterious death of Kirsten W., how all of a sudden she was traveling for an event and ends up dead in Los Angeles. That was so weird. The thing that I thought was weird was that his channel was censoring the comments about Kirsten W. So it's like, you're a truther and you're going to share truth about information, but then you're going to block comments about your friend. That just didn't sit right with me. And I'm like, we got to be able to have the conversation somewhere. So I've got to start my YouTube channel now. And that's why I started it. So when I saw this clip of Michael Jaco, it triggered me because he really shut down the conversation about Kevin Hoyt, just like he shut down the conversation about Kirsten W. And it's like he went into this huge in-depth video analysis like he did with George Floyd and or others. I don't even remember all the others. But with Charlie Kirk. And it's like, if you're going to spend that much time talking about Charlie Kirk, but you're going to ignore your own friend, Kevin Hoyt, and friend, Kirsten W., it just kind of didn't equate. I'm sure he has reasons for what he's doing. I've heard from multiple people, I won't mention names, but that he puts out information on behalf of the white hats or whatever you want to call them. And he puts the narratives out there. And also, right after Kirsten died, and I listened to Carrie Cassidy, and she was talking about it, and she was talking about Michael Jaco and Kirsten right after she died, and she said that he puts out information for White House. He puts out the narrative, and that's the narrative, and that's it. Don't say anything else. Don't question it. Don't. So he actually said, don't say Kevin. Well, he didn't say don't say Kevin. He said I don't remember his actual words. I'm going to play it. But it was don't ask about Kevin, something like that. So let me find the video and get that for you. And bear with me just a minute while I find that. Because of the technical difficulties, I can only have so many things open on my phone. Okay, so here. Just put it on. Let me get through these ads here. So again, just in case Michael Jaco does watch this, honestly, I don't think he cares because he really doesn't care if people talk about him. He's just really content in his own life, and it shows. And, I'm happy for him. I respect him. But the reason that triggered me is because he kind of had the same reaction as when Kirsten W. died. So let me share this now, what he says about Kevin Hoyt.
So it's definitely end times for a lot of these people. They know it. They're going to put on a brave little happy face, but behind that happy face, they're shaking in their little boots, right? In their little boots. Guys, quit asking about Kevin Hoyt, right? Kevin Hoyt is in protection, right? So don't ask. Folks, I said it was coming. Trump is now.
Okay. And then, so that TruthStream posted this. Also,
how do you pass an NCIC with abuse prevention?
I'm not answering the questions. I was distracting you.
With where he went into the local Bennington, Vermont police sheriff station and shared evidence of human transporting and drugs and stuff like that. And they completely dismissed him and made him leave. He was asking for protection. He was asking for help, and they just turned him away. And on the video that I watched on the Sovereign Soul show, his friend, can't think of her name right now, says that he's been knocking at that door of justice to try to get someone to answer for years, and it's never been answered. So that's why that triggered me, is because Michael Jaco is like, don't ask about Kevin. Okay. And if he has some like proof that he's in protection, like Jade was a little pissed off about it. Maybe it seemed like that on her Facebook post, that Michael Jaco would share that, because like if somebody has proof that your family's in protection and you're here worried about them, like let them know, right? So I mean, I can understand why Jade would be upset about that. Yeah, like I said, the other channels that are talking about this are the Grassroots Warrior Network. Shortly after his disappearance, they published his Dead Man Switch video. And that video actually was one that he pre-recorded in the event that he had to leave. And apparently they say that he missed a check-in call. And I confirmed with Jade that wasn't like anything legal. I guess it was a check-in call that he had set up with his production staff or Grassroots Warrior Network or Kevin Hoyt TV or whatever it was, something that he had set up himself. So about a month ago, Brad Wasme did an overview on about Kevin's disappearance, and he says a lot of things just in the first couple minutes of the intro. So I'm going to play it. I don't know if I'm going to play the whole thing because it's 5 minutes long. I don't know if you want to hear all of it. I mean, you could just see it yourself on Sovereign Soul Show. The whole video is like an hour and a half, but the whole thing was not all about Kevin. They talked about a lot of other things too. But I feel like this whole first 5 minutes was really good. But I'll just play part of it and then where'd it go? I'll just play part of it. And then if you want, you can see the rest, but I'm going to go over all the highlights anyway. So again, this is Brad Wasme channel on the Sovereign Soul Show. It's a little Buddha guy. And you can just scroll down. It's about like 10 videos down. Dead Man Switch. Urgent round table. Kevin Hoyt and young daughter missing for 3 days. And this was posted a month ago. And the people that were on it were Cindy Lou, Lisa Schermerhorn, and Jim O'Connor. And also SG Anon and Scott McKay were invited but couldn't make it.
For anyone.
So let me share a little overview about what he said, because it is interesting. They did arrest Kevin a year ago, and he was in jail, and they forced him, which I didn't even remember that. I think I heard that before, but I think, I forgot about that.
Their scope.
They also mentioned that his daughter was kidnapped, so I don't know about that, but I did ask Jade about that, and I'll share what she said with that as well.
You also have my personal friends and
Okay.
Kevin's admin at Grassroots Warrior Network admin joining us here in a moment.
Yeah, and his Grassroots Warrior admin, Vivian, was also on this, and I'll touch base on that as well.
I just want to start off with a quick overview for you who don't know Kevin or the experience which possibly led to his disappearance and his young daughter for the last 3 days. Still no word from them. First of all, he's an 8th generation Vermonter. So the Hoyts, the Free Hoyts of Vermont, their own family's blood is in those lands, having fought in the Revolutionary War. And over the last several years, half a decade or more, Kevin's personally been exposing heinous crimes against humanity and children from Vermont, other places, stolen elections, you name it. So naturally, as a result, he's been a targeted individual, and he's even actually petitioned the federal government for protection with all of his whistleblowing that he's done. Over 5,000 videos, including piles of evidence of documentation. And that was ignored. So the past year of his life as well, and those of his inner circle, that's been the most extreme for him for sure. And 1 year and 1 day ago, last year, you all might remember that Kevin was arrested, thrown into a jail cell, in handcuffs with a convicted pedophile. He was force injected, all against his will, never told what was in the jab that they gave him in his left arm. His left arm turned black, parts of his torso started turning black, and he spent months fighting for his life after what was absolutely an assassination attempt. So the deep state had then kidnapped his little daughter, and after months of battling the cartel, he finally received her back just a few weeks ago, and now he's missed a scheduled safety check. So these are prevention measures that are set up, which is great for patriots to stay vigilant everywhere. This is an outdoorsman of 25 years. He had his own TV show, hunting TV show, right, in like 30 million homes across America. So he knows what to do in the outdoors. And these are all safety measures, except for where we are today. So that safety check was missed. That triggered a dead man switch video, which he had previously recorded, which was then posted up to Grassroots Warrior Network via his admin, Vivian, who you'll meet in a moment. And it's been 3 days again. Nobody knows his or his daughter's whereabouts. And what we first need to do is focus on high spirits, focus on the positive outcome, as you saw.
Okay, so that's the highlights. And let me just make sure I have everything else here, and then I can go through all the other stuff that I found out. Libby's here, and she's like, yeah, just take Jaco's word for it. Like, no, question everything. I agree. When anytime like a patriot is like shutting their audience down and saying no, don't ask, like, whoa, that's a red flag for me, especially if it happens twice with his own friends. So, like I said, I'm sure, Jaco's got a reason for it. No judgment here, but question everything. And I personally wanted to do my diligence anyway, just because like it didn't seem like anybody was looking for them or cared, or it's just overload, right? Like especially now with the train accident and the Charlie Kirk shooting. God bless, sending love to their family. But things are just out of this world insane. So that's why I just wanted to get this done, wrap this up, put this all together for you. And so I can just like let this go, and we can all pray for their safety. And recently Grassroots Warrior Network put another video out, and it was a statement like about Kevin Hoyt. And that's what it's called. If you want to see it on Grassroots Warrior Network, it's like statement about Kevin Hoyt. And it's one of Kevin Hoyt's admins. And he says that like there's a misconception that the admins know where he is, but the admins absolutely don't. Like they don't know where he is, but they've all decided to continue this effort regardless. Like what Kevin, trying not to get emotional here, what Kevin started, they're not going to stop it just because he's gone. They're going to continue Grassroots Warrior Network. They're going to continue to share truth. They're going to continue this movement that Kevin started. So he also kind of said he pretty much said that, like, Kevin took himself out of the game. And that's the general consensus. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people. I reached out to Lisa Schermerhorn today. I reached out to Joe Rosati today. Lisa Schermerhorn did not have any additional information after, that interview she did a month ago. She has no idea where he is. Those are exact words. No idea, nothing. And Joe Rosati says, our understanding is that he is in hiding. And so just to make this clear, like, no one that I've seen thinks they were attacked, they were kidnapped, they were hurt. No one thinks that. And so I just pray for their safety. And it's, from what it seems, he left on his own volition. Libby asked a question I wanted to answer. Are there any agencies looking for them? So his daughter has contacted like a lot of different police departments, like Bennington, and I think in Vermont, and I think she reached out to someone in New York, and they are not even declaring Kevin as a missing person. They're like refusing to make him a missing person, because they're saying he has full custody of his daughter. Just because he left town doesn't mean they're missing. And so, no, they're not cooperating. No one's looking for them. No one's working with them. Not a single agency, not a local one, not a federal one. No one's been cooperating with her. And she also did mention that she believed Vivian to be Kevin Hoyt's girlfriend, which that's just what the daughter thought. I don't know if that's true or not, but and Jay did say that like Vivian stopped answering her calls. So she's been really left in the dark. It's just like her dad's missing and her 4-year-old sister's missing, and she's been really in the dark. And I'll share more about that as well. So I did want to share one other thing. Let's see. On that video that they did, I mean, this is the roundtable they did. It's called Urgent Roundtable. Oops. Kevin Hoyt and young daughter missing for 3 days. Dead man switch activated. You see Jim O'Connor, Brad Wozni, Lisa Schermerhorn, and Cindy Young, who is, I think, a J6 prisoner. And this is Vivian. She's the admin from, on the bottom right is the admin for Grassroots Warrior Network. So I just thought this part was interesting. They said that they talked to somebody who saw that they had a vision where Kevin's hands were tied. So I just think that clip is interesting. I'm just going to play it here.
I think his hands are tied to do.
I don't believe his hands are tied. I think he's ready for a breath and to reload, put back on that armor of God, sharpen that sword that he talks about.
No, I think his hands are tied to do whatever he's doing right now.
Yeah.
He just wasn't going to go the route that they want him to go because they're not offering him anyway.
Did you hear that? They're not offering him, and the other person said, any witness. So it's like they stopped before they said it, but they're not offering him any witness protection. That's what he wanted, I guess, and they weren't offering it to him. So let me make sure I hit all the high points. So they've been missing since the beginning of August. Brad Wozni reported that he's been a targeted individual, and he actually petitioned the federal government for protection of all of his whistleblower work. He's had piles of evidence, over 5,000 videos, and his request for protection was ignored. They said he had a missed scheduled check-in call, and when the safety check was missed, it triggered the dead man switch in the pre-recorded video, which was posted on the Grassroots Warrior Network. Cindy Lou says that Kevin has been exposing corruption and trying to get them to take action for years, like 10 years. And he's been knocking on that door for years, and it was never answered. He was arrested a year ago, and they force injected him, and he did not know with what. They actually did tell him, I found out from Jade, that it was TB. But it was not just a tiny little bit, which they do. It was like a whole vial. So it made his whole arm turn black and took him months to recover. In the video, they said, on the video on the Sovereign Soul show, they said that when he was there, like, he could either let them do it or they would tie him down and do it anyway. So he's like, okay, I guess I have no choice. But they're like, this is just standard procedure. And they said it was TB. But he was sick for months. They said his arm turned black, and Lisa Schermerhorn and others did healing on him, and it took him a lot to get him all healed. But he did get healed within months. But they were trying to take him out. And they also mentioned that Micah was kidnapped. So I don't know where Brad Wozny got that. I mean, I guess he got that from Kevin Hoyt. But what he said was that his daughter Micah was kidnapped by the deep state and they had to get her back from the cartels. Okay, so that's what was being claimed on Sovereign Soul show. And I checked with Jade, Kevin's adult daughter, and she said she was actually in foster care. So okay, so I asked her if I could share these parts of our conversation, like 3 different parts, and she said it's okay for me to share what I feel is important. So I asked her, I don't know if you and Micah have the same mother. What is the situation with Micah's mother? How is she taking all this? Because I imagine like she must be worried sick, right? Also on the Sovereign Soul show, they said Micah was kidnapped and Kevin had just recently got her back before he disappeared. Is that true? So Jade wrote back. She says, we don't have the same mother. Micah's mom is younger than me by a couple years and is struggling with addiction. Micah lived with a foster mother essentially, but her birth mom also was living there. My dad filed for emergency custody of Micah, as I understand it. Her mom did not appear at that hearing, and so the emergency custody order was granted, and Micah began staying with him early 2025, so like January-ish. My dad claims that Micah's mother sold her to the babysitter, who I'm assuming is the foster mom, for $600, but I have not been able to confirm these claims. So she doesn't mention anything about a kidnapping or a cartel or anything like that. She says Micah's mother is struggling with addiction, and someone else had her in foster care. And what happened was Kevin Hoyt petitioned the court for emergency order to take custody of Micah. And because the birth mother didn't show up, he was awarded custody. So that's how he got custody of Micah. And he had her, I believe, since like the beginning of the year, is what Jade says. So I just want to start out. Who is Jade? This is her name. Jade Gooding. Jade Gooding is Kevin Hoyt's adult daughter. And we didn't have any mutual friends, but she did send me a video that had Kevin Hoyt's voice in it with Micah. So I do believe it's true that this is his daughter. She's been posting about the disappearance. So looks like she got 108 shares on her first post, which is great. If anybody has any information on the location of my dad, Kevin. So yes. This is cute little Micah. Prayers for her safety. And then, like I said, she did not like that Michael Jaco had shared that. My dad missed court this morning. Meanwhile, his coworkers post this shit. This is his stuff network wholeheartedly believes. Hot take, it's giving cult. If any of these people have info, they won't tell me. Can we please be serious now? Where is Micah? So, she didn't love that. She's called out Grassroots Warrior Network. And she posted this. This is Micah. She's been missing. She says she's going to keep looking for her. Like, at this one, she's like, I don't want to give up on you, but our dad sucks. And please keep sharing and asking questions. So she's still like really struggling, like having no idea where her father and her sister are, right? And like literally, she says literally WTF on this statement from the Grassroots Warrior Network. I don't know what about this she didn't like, but I listened to this today and they're basically saying they did an overview of everything. And basically they did act like Kevin took himself out. He went out on his own volition. And like I said, they said that they were going to continue the network anyway, continue what he started. Okay. So that's that. And when I had originally reached out to her, she didn't write back for weeks. So I was like, dang, she's not going to write me back. But this was her first message back. I was like, hey, I'm concerned and, let me know if you're okay and if I can help. This is what she sent me. I blocked out a portion of it that we wanted to keep private, but this is her first message that she sent me. So this actually made me feel a lot better. Let me read this to you, okay? It says, 1 second. Let me fix this lighting here. I shrunk into the dark. It's like bright up here, but I shrunk down. Okay, so she says, and again, this is Jade Gooding. This is Kevin Hoyt's adult daughter. I believe she's like in her 20s or something. She says, hi, honey. I'm sorry I've not replied. All of your messages went to my request folder. I haven't publicly updated yet because my investigation has revealed information that I'm still trying to fully understand. I can tell you that I personally heard Micah's voice. Praise God. I can confirm that as of right now, both my dad and Micah appear to be safe. I do believe he left of his own volition and he believes everything in his videos 100%. So that to me, I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for telling me. I'm so glad that you feel they're safe. I asked her some other things. And like I said, I did get permission. She says here, I asked her what I could share, but she says, you can share what you feel is important, just so you know that I have permission and consent to share this. So let me see where I can find what she said to me as well. Here it is. Okay. We did also, okay, here. I think I'd say I believe they're safe, but I don't know if he's being provided protection per se. It seems to me from my limited view that he's built his own protection. I think essentially he's wit-pro'd himself. So they said it on the Sovereign Soul show. They weren't offering him witness protection. And here's his daughter saying, essentially, he wit-pro'd himself. I said, wow, that's crazy, but it kind of made sense. I asked her about his relationship with the sheriff. She said they've been very dismissive of her concerns because they didn't feel he was committing any crimes. So therefore they weren't going to waste their time searching for him. And just to make sure that she really was his daughter, I asked if she had a picture of her and Kevin, because she has like pictures of Kevin and Micah. But she sent me a recent video. It was like one of her last videos. And this was a couple days after before, to see my grandfather before he passed. So it seems like her grandfather passed in July, which is, I don't know, like mid or late July. And that was Kevin's father. So does Kevin's father's death have anything to do with his disappearance? I don't know. That's just a question. But anyways, I did say, do you have a photo that you're willing to share of you and your dad? I hate to ask, but just wanted to provide for validity for anyone questioning your relationship to him. And she said, I only have pictures of Micah, my son, from my last visit. I didn't think to take a picture with my dad because they were there for her grandfather. But she sent me this video that it was like of the fire and it had Kevin's voice in it. So she did give me some more information. I had asked about how is Micah's mother doing, and she said that, which I shared. I asked about the check-ins because I was like, is the check-in, was that legal or was that related to his network? And she says, not 100% sure, but I think the check-in was referring to the weekly podcast he made with another creator in his network. It doesn't appear to be a legal thing. He was not on probation and did not have a caseworker or anyone who need to legally contact on a weekly basis. So he was not on probation, just to be clear. They did, however, issue a warrant for his arrest. And I don't remember the reason why he was issued the warrant for the arrest, but they did that. Apparently, like, they won't look for him, but they're going to issue a warrant. I don't remember what that was for, but I did ask, why did he go to jail last year? Because he did go to jail a year ago. I remember that's when it happened with the thing. She said, violating a no harassment order by posting a video in which the court felt he was threatening Chris Bates, I believe. Okay. And I said, okay, they said he was injected with something at the jail. Was that true? She said, he was told it was a T-Bay test and that was standard procedure when booked. When he told me about it, he said it was an injection and the jail didn't have info on the test or the nurse who administered it. This isn't verified. And I said, they said his whole arm turned black and it took him months to recover. Did he speak to you about this? And she said he did. He also claimed that he was being followed and watched closely, but he didn't say by whom specifically. So, I mean, that was like the highlights. I didn't want to read like all of our conversation, but she did give me permission to share what was important. Essentially, like, he made his own connections and found his own way to go into witness protection himself. So I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's like the best of what I could find out. And that seems to be what everybody thinks. Like I said, I reach out to Lisa today and I reach out to Joe Rosati today. And, like I said, Joe Rosati is under the understanding that he's in hiding and he's like taken himself out of the game. So, I just hope that brings peace to anybody who may be worried about them or their safety. I'm not saying they're safe. I'm just saying I hope they're safe. And I don't think that anybody else took them out or took them somewhere. I think they left on their own volition. And I pray that Kevin is in the right sound mind to be able to take care of a 4-year-old. I pray that they are not in the wilderness and just because he's a good survivor in the wilderness. I don't think that's a good way to bring up a 4-year-old in the wild. So I pray that they're somewhere like safe in a cabin somewhere on some land. And I imagine that maybe he would be wearing a disguise if he goes into public or something, because the point of going into hiding is so that no one recognizes you. And I do think enough people know who Kevin Hoyt is. Like, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. But isn't that the point of like going into hiding, like to disguise yourself? Um, I just want to make it clear that like I want to pray for their protection. Maybe let's pray for them right now. Dear God, please protect Kevin and Micah and Jade and the whole family and friends and all of Grassroots War Network, including Sovereign Soul Show, including Truth Stream. Just be with our community and be with us all. Help us all to be safe, but definitely protect the people who are telling the truth. Please surround Jade, Micah, and Kevin with divine protection and make sure that they're safe and protected at all times. Make sure that their needs are met and that they're getting the help that they need. They're having their emotional and physical needs met as well. And we just pray that they're safe and protected. And we do pray that Kevin can return when he can. So pray that they're all safe and protected. And maybe if there's a way that we could get a sign that that Micah is safe, that would be so welcome. So much love and prayers of protection to everybody in Yeshua's name. So I think that's it. So just wanted to share that. And I think that's it. If anybody has any questions, let me know. It is a little crazy. It is a little like confusing and in depth, and there was a whole lot happening around that. So I hope it came together well. Anyways, that's what I found out. If you have any information, like any additional information, like please share it or let me know. I'm Chelsea L. Colley on Facebook. Yeah, and if I'm wrong about anything, like sorry, like this is just like the best of my knowledge, and I don't know if any of this is like 100% true. So I could be wrong about some things for sure. So if I am wrong about something, please let me know, and I can correct that if that's the case. So sending love, light, and protection to everybody, and hope you all just stay strong and hold the line, keep the faith, and don't be afraid to shine your light. Much love. Bye-bye, friends.